Every dawn is a doorway, and dreamers walk through on purpose. Here, we master mindset, raise oral intelligence, and rebuild legacy brick by brick. We honor who we were before the world tried to rename us. I'm Dr. Sean, dentist, alchemist, Niiji, daughter of the land, and this is the Hood to Hooded show, where we transform, rise, and stay risen. Welcome to the tribe. What's up, y'all? My camera fell over. What up, tribe? What up, tribe? You already know the vibes. What up, tribe? Welcome to the live. What up, tribe? Welcome to the live. What up, tribe? OCO, my Niiji. What up, tribe? OCO, my Niiji. You know how we be going through the history. Hey, hey, hey. You know I gotta warm up a little bit, get into the mood. What's going on? Let's release all the energy and let's have a great week. Let's shake it off. Whatever it is, just shake it off. If you're watching on TikTok, go ahead and tap those hearts. We've been hitting 20K so effortlessly on TikTok. Alright, but OCO to my Niiji. Welcome to the building. As you can see from the title, we will be talking about why they want us to get over our history, the true history, while they still eating off of it. I came across this topic yesterday while strolling my YouTube comments, and in the videos about how the presidents enslave people and all of that evil ass shit, I see so many people like, oh, get over it. Why does it matter? Playing the victim. No. You don't get off that easy, fool. So we're going to get into it. But before we do, I just hope you guys are having a great Monday morning so far. And if it's not great, I hope it gets greater later. But I woke up feeling good, feeling great, and ready to rock out for whatever is coming our way, So welcome to the tribe. We about positive vibes, just sharing knowledge, growing, and always thinking of elevating, going to the next step. I can't sleep sometimes because I'm trying to think of how to go to the next level. We got to go to the next level. So welcome to the room. Let's dive in. I got a stuffy nose today, so. Uh-oh. Okay, so let's get into the topic, why they want us to get over our history while they still eat off of the history. So welcome back. I keep hearing the same tired line. Why do you care? Get over it. But let's be real, y'all. Nobody tells a thief to get over robbery while they still living in a stolen house. You still living on a stolen land. And you talking about get over it. How? Nobody tells Wall Street, to get over the money they're still cashing every day. Nobody telling these people the truth. Only time people start screaming, it's the past, is when the mental lies start to crumble. Like here in America, the mental lies are crumbling so fast, like graham crackers on a piece of cake or a piece of pie. They crumbling, right? The control is a little shaky. It's getting a little shaky because we, the Niiji, we not taking that shit no more. You want us to sit down and shit? No, 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 no. We never took it. You just tried to erase us. And we said, no, you can't erase us. And now you're like getting mad because you can't erase us. You want us just be quiet. Like, oh, you want us to be quiet like in the past, huh? Hell to the no. Thank you for following Mr. Vincent Taylor Sr. Just got that #1 gifter badge. So today we're talking about why they are mad. Thank you for tapping those hearts. Why they want you to forget and why it was never over. It was never over. You thought it was over? Why they keep saying get over something? It was in the past. We enslaved you this many years ago. And then proud about it too. Like who? You know, I already know who raised y'all. I don't even need to ask that question. You're welcome, beautiful sister. Right? From the slave patrol to the chain gangs, to the modern prisons, to the redlining, to the eminent domain, to every quiet little policy that keeps the Niiji, the melanated, autochthonous, sovereign people in melanated communities in a chokehold. If you okay with that, then yeah, we know exactly why you're okay. We know exactly why you're okay with that. And let's talk about it. Thank you for following. Jizzle just got that heart me. Yes, guys, tap in. We're trying to get to our goal of 1K hearts on TikTok. If you watch it from other platforms, go ahead and tap those hearts. Engage. Let me know how you feeling. You know, grab your daily heart me, the orange heart here at the top on TikTok. Why they say get over it? Let's start with the psychology. People don't say get over it because the wound is healed. It ain't like they apologize. It ain't like they say, okay, we know that with the UN drip, we know that nationally doing war crimes is illegal. So we're going to make you guys enslaved. We're not going to call you POWs because that will be a war crime. We're just going to say you came from somewhere else and that you a POW. And we're going to never tell you about the right to self-identify because we want to identify you. And when you don't want us to identify you, we're going to say get over it because we identified you and reclassified you. Where they do that at? Oh, right here in America. When the Niiji, the true American Indian, the melanated indigenous people start connecting the dots, the genealogy, the land theft, the identity theft, the paper trail of policy, comfort gets threatened. Oh yeah. Because if history is real, then why are so many reparations, land back, accountability, and power shifts taking place? People questioning it now. We won't be quiet. That ain't the answer. If your answer is, hey, please be quiet, we don't want to talk about it, I need you to have several seats in the back of the room. LB just got that #3 gifter badge. Thank you guys for following. Right? Because if history is real, then we got to talk about it. What did colonizers and their descendants do? They weaponized amnesia, erasing the past through textbooks and television. Even people like Elvis we discussed yesterday, he copied like 6 or 7 melanated people. They want you to have amnesia about your greatness. I will never do that. Good morning. Stop by to spread love and let you know you deserve all your heart's desire. Vibe with love. What's going on? Vibe with love. I appreciate it. I love that. I love the positive energy. Right? But they want you to forget who you are. That's the whole trick of colonization, is to trick you out of your spot. And colonizers have so many people thinking that they're somebody that they not. So they don't, when you realize, damn, I'm not this person you said I am, they get a little uncomfortable. They want you to be quiet. Oh, that was 200 years ago. They're not reminding you the things they still doing right now to oppress us. Yes, sis, she's intelligent, interesting, and informative. Right? So they want you to get that amnesia. Erase us out of the books. Ban the books. Ban reading. Ban writing. They was mad when they found it. Dang, they starting to read and write. Sharing it on the internet. Oh, that's a scary thing. They need to remember Earth. This is temporary. It's a test which will determine where your soul. I think I read that right. Right? The second thing they use to weaponize history is gaslighting. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Everybody was doing it. You weren't even there. Why are you worried about it? That's called gaslighting. They want to gaslight when we talk about our history, but with their history, they want to put their heroes on the money. They want to put their heroes on the light pole. They want to put their heroes in your face. They want to ask you, who was the first president? They want to ask you, they don't want to tell you the first president enslaved 300 plus people, but they want to tell you, this is our hero. You gonna respect it. I think the fuck not. All that gaslighting, it's over with. It's over with. Okay? The third thing they use to weaponize us, distraction. Distraction. You're going to throw some celebrity drama, keep the celebrity arguments in the blog. The negativity go viral. If I was on here talking about fighting and beating somebody up and some drama I had in the hood, it'd be viral. But when you talk about the distractions, we have had to eliminate hatred virus because better known as racism. You better know it. You better know it. We got to eradicate it. It's time. They want to throw sports, TikTok beef at you, so you never have time to sit back long enough and say, whose land am I standing on? Who built this? Whose labor built this? Who's still in chains today? You might not be in physical chains, but I guarantee you impacted by some mental chains. And you might have a lot of money, you still impacted by the mental chains. Good morning, Lala. She just got that, Sean Ray, what's up? Just got that heart me. How y'all feeling today? Right? These lies are mental handcuffs. Once they break, you don't just move on. You move correctly. You move with empowerment. You move with authority. You move like you know you the shit. You move like nothing can ever break you down. Even if you don't have a penny in your pocket, that history, that's priceless. It's going to make you get up and do something. It's going to make you realize, you know what? I got to do some alchemy right now. The situation might not look good for me, but I got to be the alchemist right now. Jizzle, you are a positive influence. Thank you. Sean Ray, that's facts. Mental handcuffs. Money is not everything. I just lost my dad due to mental health. I am so sorry to hear that. I'm sending you prayers. So much love. Wow. And I know how that feels to lose a parent. Like, it's something, it's like a forever wound, I would say. Right? So, from slave patrols to the chain gangs to the prisons, people want to say, oh, just get over it. But you still got our men locked up. Locking them up for petty crimes. The same crimes that a YT man would get 2 days for, you would give our Niijis 20 years. I'm talking about drastic differences, guys. I'm not talking about no little bitty differences. Drastic differences. These are the people who are in the courtroom. These are the people who are in the politics, the leadership. And you talking about get over it. We ain't ever going to do that until we got our sovereignty back. I hope you understand. Are you not listening, or do you not understand? Like, what is it? It's never going to be, oh, just get over it. I see y'all in the comments. Just get over it. Had mad money, had big business in Miami, but lost himself. Dang. Yeah, the mental health will take you out. Money can't help you when you have mental health issues, depression, anxiety. You know, it can drive you crazy, and it's so sad. And it's impacting our community by the millions right now. It's intentional. The prices, they're not by mistake. It's intentional. Raise prices, make homelessness illegal so people can go back to laboring and stressing out. Let's get into the receipts. Not vibes, but I'm talking about receipts, guys. Slavery was abolished with a loophole. It was abolished except as a punishment for crime, right? So right. So when they said, okay, we had all these presidents, all of them enslaved people up until the 12th or 13th president. Somebody said, oh, the percentage, man, the percentage. You get what I'm trying to say. It's probably more than that. The fact is, from the first one to the 10th to the 11th president, they all had people enslaved against their will, talking about equality. So when they outlawed it, they said, okay, we have to find another way to enslave them. We're going to say that they're not enslaved, but we're going to still, you know how they do, we're going to still, on the side. So they said it's abolished except as punishment for crime. Then they say, okay, if we can change the slave patrol, who were here 100 years before the government was instituted, 1704, the slave patrol was around 100 years before the president, the first president, George Washington. This is vital. This is key. It's very imperative to know this. So when George Washington got in, he used the slave patrol, right? They still call him that. Someone who's going to control the indigenous people. Both parties, Republicans and Democrats, are crooked and not for the brown, melanated Americans. Period. You think you're going to vote your way out of this? Listen, this is what I'm telling you. The first president, the second president, the third president, the fourth president, all of the heroes enslaved us on their plantations and got on the pulpit and acted like they was God on the pulpit, making laws and doing this. So when you got the chains on you right now, you thinking the system gonna help you out. The system is what put you in it. How they gonna help you out? They said we gonna abolish it, but at the same time we're gonna make so many laws that it's still not abolished. The unaliving of Sandra Massey. That's why they are in love with the orange hatred men in office. Now let's go. Let's talk about it. That's why you think that it's something different. This is the same system. We had to fight it. We're still fighting it against people who want to gaslight us, give us amnesia, make you think you not from here, make you think that they from here and they the biggest immigrants ever. You seen them come in on the boat. You see they documents. You see they manifest. Where's ours? We don't have one, bitch. What? We don't have one because we of this land. I need y'all to wake up. So when they abolished it, except as a punishment for crime, they were saying, okay, we're going to abolish it. Right. But we're going to turn the slave patrol into the police. And now we got legal right to harass these people. Well, how can you steal something and make it illegal for others to enter? That's what I'm trying. That is the big issue that we're having right now. People who have stolen something and trying to make it illegal for the people who actually own it. They stole the land. Go look at the movie Sarah Rector. This is one of the best movies I have seen tied to the history. It showed how these people stole the land, how they would give these people $5 for their 160 acres, how they trick people with the money. It's just so sad. They couldn't control the kids, so they would unallow the kids to steal their land. They did everything. It's sad and evil and nasty. So when they abolished it, I know I keep going back to this. What's the name? Sarah Rector. Sarah Rector. Rector. She got really wealthy off of oil. She was indigenous to this land, and they finally told her story. And I went to the movies, and it was only 2 people in there, me and the chief that I came with. right? It was like, whoa, it's empty in here. You didn't hear about it, but go watch that movie. It will tie what I'm saying together. So them abolishing slavery, putting it as a punishment for crime, birthed black codes. They said, okay, now we got black codes. We're going to make it illegal to read, illegal to write. They started making these laws illegal to be in a group of 3 or more people, illegal to not go to church, illegal to not go to work, illegal to not go to school, illegal to do anything. It was illegal for you to travel. It was illegal for you to be outside at night. It was illegal for you to breathe, basically. They said, okay, we're going to abolish slavery, but make it illegal for you to do all this stuff. I'll be damn, ain't that still slavery? I think so. They came out with convict leasing. They would lock you up for a petty crime, and you know back then they could lie. They didn't need no proof. They could lie. They could say you did something you didn't. You go to jail, now you back doing free labor. And guess what? The plantations would lease the convicts. So they got you back on the plantation anyways. Chain gangs and mass incarceration. So after the Civil War, the southern states created convict leasing. They arrested mostly us for petty crimes like vagrancy, which is homelessness, right? Oh yeah. And or walking on the grass. They could have arrest us for that, walking on the grass. Facts extra difficult for a black man, period. They did that on purpose. They know how strong you are. They know that you the warrior. They can't have that because we was unconquered. They can't have that. The only thing they could do was this, some illegal shit that they still talking about. Get over it. You still locking people up for weed right now. A plant in Florida, in New York. That's all you see is YTs at the dispensaries going and buying this. Look at the stats. But in Florida, they can't legalize it because that will take some of the control away, right? Even though most of them doing it. But they just let that stay in place for the police to use. If you walk on the wrong side of the road looking at the traffic ticket, period. Hello, Deborah Bernard. How you feeling? Jaywalking. Yeah, these are the crimes that they came up with after they abolished enslaving us so they could still enslave us. And they thought we wasn't going to find out. I'm doing wonderful. I'm having a wonderful day. I'm in positive vibes. Ready to rock out. Got to go to clinics later. I can't complain. I just love learning this history because it's so empowering. It just gives me a whole nother inner about myself. I can't lose and I know who I truly am. How could you lose? Right? So they mostly arrested us for petty crimes, vagrancy, which is homelessness. Walking on the grass, you could get arrested. Looking at a white lady, you could get arrested because she could lie on you. Right? I make people mad when I say pick an old black history book and take a look. Take a look. Y'all reading the wrong book all the time, all day. They know that you're going to read this one book. We ain't going to even say the name because this one book they going to put in front of you all the time because they gave you that book. They know that book going to make you obedient, a servant. And they know what it's going to do to your brain, and you won't open another book after that. That's good. I'm glad you're doing good. Right? They leased these people who were doing petty crimes like being homeless, walking on the grass. If they had a book in their bag, if they was traveling at night, you could get arrested. They leased these people out to the plantations, to the mines, and to the railroads so they could still be enslaved. Yeah. They were unpaid, abused, and often worked to death. The prison system was worse, actually, than enslavement sometimes, because they could just lease another person. They didn't have to feed them. They didn't have to really care. They just leased them, made them work. Under the law now, legally. I just came in to say hello. I hope you have a wonderful day, Deborah. Thank you for checking in, tapping those hearts, guys. So they were unpaid, and history calls it slavery by another name. Chain gangs follow. You heard of chain gangs? Men actually chained together. I should say melanated men chained together, forced to build the roads, cleared the land under brutal conditions, especially in the South in the 1900s. Have a blessed day. You have a wonderful, amazing day as well. So now we fast forward. So to the people who want to ask, well, why do you care so much? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Well, you think it matters. Melanated people are 13 to 14% of the U.S. population, but around 33 to 37% of the people incarcerated. At one point, the melanated adults were in prison at nearly 6 times the rate of white people. 6 times. So let's get the real numbers. So that would be like 1,500 melanated people compared to 270 white people. That's a big difference. That's a very, very big difference. The indigenous people, their state imprisonment rate is about double the national average. They talking about something else right now. But the point is, we are always going to be the target because they know who we are. We just don't know who we are. So that's not in the past. These are current numbers that they use from a system started from colonization. So when you say get over it, how can we get over what you're talking about when you're still doing it? Look at all the people who have been unalived. Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, on and on and on. George Floyd, Michael, MLK, Malcolm X. It just, every part of history is going to happen, but you want us to get over it while you secretly have these people in patrol cars around here hunting us legally, looking like they're the good guy. I guarantee you, ask any melanated Niiji, their interaction with these people who's supposed to protect and serve, they're not really serving us. They actually the ones who incarcerating us, lying on us, putting these men in prison for nothing. A lot of them have done nothing. That's not the past. That's current. And it doesn't just stop at the cages. A recent investigation showed states like Alabama still profit heavily from prison labor, sending incarcerated people, mostly melanated people, to work for companies like fast food chains, hotels, making pennies while the state collects a cut of their pay. Critics compare it to modern day convict leasing. God sees everything. Right? So when someone says slavery is over, get over it, you want to ask them, explain to me why the descendants of this type of policy and dispossessed people are still filling the prisons. Why? Jizzle just got that #1 gift their badge. Why? They still supplying cheap labor, still dying younger, and living in the worst economy right now. Is that just a coincidence, or is that by design? Redlining wasn't a coincidence. Welfare wasn't for us. That wasn't a coincidence. You know, them destroying the Wall Streets that we had, our communities, wasn't a coincidence. It was on purpose. They cannot stand to see us thrive. And I always go back to what Christopher Columbus wrote when he first pulled up to the West Indies, when that man said, what? When that man said they are docile, he said they're docile and they're gonna be easy to control. Right? He said that. Oh, they're gonna be easy. And I'll be look at us over here just falling for everything. So from the presidents, the prophets, and the government built on enslavement, let's talk about the founding myth, the founding fathers. I like talking about them now because they didn't find shit. The government loves to talk about freedom and liberty. But as I mentioned earlier, out of all the U.S. presidents, 12 of them exactly owned enslaved people at some point in their life. 12 of the presidents. We only own in the 40s. We ain't even reached 50 of them yet, but 12 of them enslaved people. The same men who wrote the laws, signed the land deals, set the tone for the system that so many thrive off right now. They enslave people. They were actively profiting from human beings as property. Actively making the laws, getting rewarded for it. As long as you have the propaganda of people like George Washington, who enslaved hundreds of people while serving as the president, might I add. It wasn't like they enslaved people and then they became the president. No, they were the president and they had people enslaved. Imagine if Trump right now had a plantation and he had some of us on it enslaved and he was right here talking about freedom and liberty. Come on now. But this is what happened. Thomas Jefferson, he was the worst. Well, I think Andrew Jackson was worse as well. But Thomas Jefferson, you have a gift. You are a positive influencer. Please, please support the live. I appreciate that. That's my only purpose here on life, is to influence other people, help people go from a hood state of mind to a hooded state of mind. Not necessarily going to school for it, but just reading, just understanding, and not being afraid of knowledge. They got so many of us afraid to learn, afraid to read, afraid to write. The only thing we can do is stroll. The only thing we can do is follow BS. The only thing we can get in tune to is propaganda. We can't even know who we are. We don't even know who we are. Right? But Thomas Jefferson, he enslaved 600 people. But they call him the president. Where they do that at? So I want you to remember Thomas Jefferson's name, not as a founding father, but as a criminal, as someone who committed homicide, democide, genocide, a liar, a thief, and of a son of a... Right? 600 people. Thomas Jefferson. They put him on the money too. They said, oh, you got 600 enslaved on your plantation, president? We got to get you on a bill. Come on, man. We're not dealing with normal people. These are psychos in the office. You talking about a Republican and a Democrat. You think that's what it's about? Divide and conquer. As long as we can divide them to make them think this side is better than this side, we got their mind in the la-la land. They gonna follow everything. Oh, this president, this. Go back to the history. This system can't save us. I'm sorry, it can't save us. Right? Thomas Jefferson had 600 people at his plantation. And he the one who said all men were created equal. This is what he said. Even writing violent language about the indigenous people. They weren't just men of their time. These were architects of a machine that converted stolen land and stolen bodies into political power and generational wealth, as they learned from Constantine in 313 CE. They got this from their ancestors a long time ago. You thought this was new? You thought that when George Washington came in the slave patrol? No, they've been doing this across the ocean a long time ago. They had a plan to steal your soul a long time ago. You just didn't know. You didn't know. So when someone says the government isn't racist, that was just a long time ago, I know that you a bird brain. I know that you quite delusional. Because the blueprint itself was drawn by enslavers and land thieves. The First Amendment, the this amendment, the data. I don't give a damn about none of that. Where my sovereignty at? I don't want to hear none of the words, the law, the this, the that. Where is my sovereignty been? If the law don't come with sovereignty, I don't want it. Earth is temporary and a test which will determine where your soul spends eternity. Yeah, but the Pope think that your soul is his. They Pope think that your soul is theirs. I know what you thinking, but they Pope over there said your soul is theirs. That's why we don't have our land. That's why we don't have our sovereignty. That's why they think they're the guardian of our whole life. I read these things about these psychotic people and I'm like, wow. If you don't read, you really are going to be lost, because they really like intentionally doing this to you. They're like, okay, well, they ain't gonna read. They're intentional with the actions. Everything is about control. Now let's list some of the policies they want you to so-called get over, while they still benefit from them right now. When the people in the comments, get over it, it was 300 years ago. Like, shut the fuck up. You irritating my spirit. Out of here, man. out of here, psycho. Redlining. So the banks and the federal government literally drew red lines around the Niiji neighborhoods, the melanated neighborhoods, and refused to give them mortgages there. Then they trapped the people, our people, in underfunded areas and push white wealth into the suburbs. Jizzle said, I hate them. I hate racists too. It ain't a lot of things that I hate, but I hate racism. I hate it. It's like a bad infection. Like, it's like gangrene or something. It's like, would you please just chop it off? We don't even need it. Just chop it off. Right? Redlining. Not giving no money. Still happening to this day. Restrictive covenants in sundown towns. Y'all know y'all heard about the sundown towns. Contracts and local laws that said no indigenous melanated family can live here, or you must be out of this town by sundown. You've seen those towns. Urban renewal and highway projects, often called Negro removal. Highways intentionally built, bulldozing through our communities, businesses, and homes in the name of progress. No, they just wanted to eliminate any stability that we had, take the land. Eminent domain. Look this word up. Eminent domain. E-M-I-N-E-N-T. Domain. The government's right. These people who enslave people's rights. So they're making these laws. I wonder why. To seize the land for public use. In practice, it was used to disproportionately displace us from our communities with the least political power. So they made it like a blank law. It ripped people from their generations and generations of homes for pennies. Handed the land to developers who got rich. The entitled attitudes, I hate them. Yes, the racism, the entitled attitudes, the lies, I hate it all. So with eminent domain, this was like with Sarah Rector. They tried to seize her land. They tried to do so much to the family, just take them out, send a hitman. They did so much. So you can see from that movie the reality, because in the movie it's not going to really show you the real what went down, but you can kind of read between the lines. Slave patrols turned to modern policing. Early law enforcement in the South literally involved from slave catchers. So that's why they have that mindset. Every time they see a melanated person, they're going to harass you in the South. The goal was to control, capture, and terrorize. That DNA didn't just disappear. It's still here and it's mutated. The black codes, Jim Crow, laws that criminalize existing Niiji for vagrancy, not having proper papers, breaking their curfew. Could you imagine having a curfew right now? Back then, the president said, hey, these people got to be on a curfew. If you were using the wrong door, going to the wrong school, like if it was a black door and you're supposed to be at the black door and you went to the white door, you can go to jail. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, man, that our ancestors had to go through so much so we could be here right now. They had to go through so much. It made me want to cry when I think about all the things they had to go through, from the evil and the hate. It's sad. All of these things, the black codes, the Jim Crow, this fed convict leasing systems and stripped people of their voting power. Even though we know about voting really ain't gonna amount to nothing. So the Niiji and the indigenous people, right? They were part of the Indian Removal Act. We didn't want to go to the reservations. We didn't want to do that. So they just renamed us Negro. They said, okay, y'all don't want to leave. We're just going to rename you Negro. Kill the Indian, save the man. Right? So as you can see today, what it boils down to is over-incarceration, police brutality, health disparities, wealth gaps, land fights, and constant erasure of our history. We got rebranded as the minority. The original landowners got rebranded as the minority. It's coming back. You can't trust the system. Be aware. You got to be aware. You can't trust the system. And I think so many of us are in a bind. We feeling the pressure. We're feeling the oppression, and we think that the system is going to save us. We have to save ourselves, guys. It takes unity, and the first part of unity is knowing the truth. So many of us wake up every day and continue on the rat reel, continue in this box, continue in the matrix, and never wake up. We just stay mentally enslaved and think that this is normal. So we're not going to get over it. Y'all still doing what you're doing back then. We're not going to get over it. Never going to get over it. It was never over. So to the person who was in my comments saying, get over it, it's over, it was never over. It still ain't over. In case you didn't know, you can't see, we just got started. We're waking up and getting on y'all ass. It's just the beginning, fool. You thought... We gotta dig through some more evidence, some more records, and continue to bring this knowledge out. We dropping the heat that you can't deny. Connecting the past to the present. That's the biggest way, I kid you not, guys. That is the biggest way to unlock generational curses, is when you can connect the past to the present. For me, that makes it a lot easier. As someone who didn't grow up loving history, I'm not a historian. I can't say I'm not a historian because now I'm becoming a historian. But in the past, in class, I never wanted to learn history. I would just study 20 minutes before the test and take it. I ain't finna learn this, but now it is so important for me to absorb as much history about my enemy. That's what I say. They say you must study your enemy. You gotta study them because they've been studying us the whole time. When George Washington became the president, even though he had enslaved people, he is the one who implemented the Census Bureau, right? So he enslaved people. Now think about this. This is something that kind of just actually tied together for me as well. But in 1790, I think he became the president in 1789. He had enslaved people, right? Indigenous Indian people who they lied and said was from somewhere else. POWs is what we call them. Now, in 1790, he enacted the Census Bureau. If you go back and do your genealogy, you'll find your ancestors, if you're from here, on the Census Bureau, and they're not going to come up as no slaves. So what they did, they had to rename us on the Census Bureau. Because I wonder, what did he give the people who he had enslaved? He didn't allow them to take a census. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm really making sense of what I'm trying to say, but I know it kind of like... somebody gonna understand what I'm trying to say, right? I took my census all the way back to that time, and I was just baffled. So they researching you every single day. They studying us every single day. Why aren't we studying the enemy? Why aren't we really like focused on changing the narrative for the youth of the future? Because they're gonna have to go through the same thing. If none of us ever break this curse, figure it out, continue to be fearless, unapologetic with the history, because like I said, they'll put their people on the money, on the polls, everywhere. We got to do the same thing for our ancestors, for our history. Not the history where they spoon fed you and tell you that, oh nope, the beginning for you is just slavery. That's a lie. I'm gonna need you to dig a little bit deeper. Stop claiming the lie. Stop acting like your ancestors was coming from somewhere and no. Your ancestors were so great. They were so great that we still use most of their inventions today. The world lives off of our brilliance and greatness, but they want to hold us down like a piece of trash. What you here for? A rude awakening. You can't ever hold greatness down, right? So it was never over. They just changed the uniforms. They put out some paperwork, you know. They did the paperwork, and they taught them a whole new language to try to keep you off of what they're doing. So it went from auction blocks to the courtroom. They talk about the whip, meaning I think the whip just the police system, to policy, plantations to prisons and warehouse jobs. From treaties to eminent domain paperwork. From mission schools to underfunded public schools in redline districts. To keep our kids not knowing about financial literacy, not knowing about genealogy, just knowing how to go to work. Your kid get out. I was the same way. When I was a little girl, I was like, I gotta get a job. I gotta get a job. So I already know how society perpetuates the idea that you just gotta go to work. You gotta get a job when you're a little kid. I got my nieces and nephews right now. They just want to go to work. They don't even want to focus. They just want to get the money. They don't want the knowledge. They just want to get the money. And I'm like, hey, slow down. Get the knowledge. The knowledge is the power. In elementary school, we used to sing the song, knowledge is power. I didn't understand it now, but I know knowledge is power now. It's super duper empowering. Okay? So history isn't about just living in the past. That's not what we're doing. We're not living in the past. It's reading about the operation manual of a system still running today. Think of it like that. When you go and read history, you learning the operation manual. Just like if you had something new that you was using. See, a lot of us in the Matrix, and we didn't read the operation manual. We just in this bitch just working like, oh. But when you go back and you read the operation manual, you'll realize, oh, I've been operating at a lower frequency. They got me vibrating super low. They don't even have me vibrating high. Intentionally now. They don't want you to vibrate high up here. Know who you are. Know where your ancestors came from. Know that you was the mound builders. Know that you was here before them. Know that you're not an immigrant. Know that the slave story really ain't your story. They don't want you to know that. They want you to vibrate here. They want the kids to vibrate here. My dad, he not really woke yet at all, but he told me a story and it made me realize, Dad, they did it to you. And I had to tell him, Dad, they did it to you, what I'm talking about, because he's the first one I can have true conversations with about this. I said, they did it to you. He said in high school they used to show them the Roots movie. They didn't watch this at home. They showed them the Roots movie and they would end up fighting and all this. But they was doing what? Propaganda in high school back then. So imagine before then. So they showing this to make the YT kids think they're better and the melanated kids think that they came from this history in the school. They don't, hopefully they don't do that anymore, but this is what was going on back then. Little bitty things like this like systemic tools used in the classroom. You know. So we learning about the operation manual every single day. Every day I wake up and I want to know more about this system that is controlling my life, controlling the mindset. If you ignore history, which so many of us want to do, we want to ignore it. You even find some of us who like, oh, just get over it and vote. Voting ain't the answer, bitch. That ain't the answer. That ain't did it for our ancestors since the system been in place. Actually, voting is what got them enslaved even more. Deeper into the trenches, deeper into the trap, deeper into the prisons, deeper into poverty, deeper into less sovereignty. If you ignore history, you don't escape it. You just walk blind through the same trapdoors your ancestors keep warning you about. You just walking blind. You don't want to know the operation. Girl, I got mine by humble. I get it. But who gave you that? Who wrote that? Was it King James? What insurance is that? Just write it down and I'll look into it, but it might be talking about Blue Cross maybe. Yeah, maybe Blue Cross, Blue Shield. Business calls. Alright, so if you ignore the history, you don't escape it. You don't read the operation manual on the system that you're in. Your kids will be generationally cursed. Their kids will be generationally cursed because you're not teaching this to them. You still teaching them that Santa Claus is a real person. You still teaching them that BS. You still celebrating a Dutch holiday built on racism, right? You can't keep walking blindly past these trap doors and trying to understand, why am I getting trapped? Why do I feel this way? That's why so many people get angry when Niiji and melanated people start reading, researching, doing their genealogy, studying the land patents. learning their tribe names, their nation names, and demanding the receipts, oh, people start to get angry. Because once you understand the pattern, you will stop playing the role they made for you. Right now, 99% of us playing a role we don't even understand the role we playing. Once you stop accepting, oh, that's just how it is, at least it's better than before. But we had a black president. I mean, come on, man. Racism has evolved. Colonization has been modernized. And our awareness of this issue has to also be evolved. So when people come in the comments that they don't understand, I know why you don't understand, because you on the other side of the gun. I mean, I know why you don't want us to understand. I know why you want us to shut up. I know why you wish this would just stop. I know you wish we would stop talking about your evil ass ancestors. No. We're going to read everything they wrote to figure out what you benefit off of right now. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. The next time someone tells you, why do you care so much about history? Just get over it. Just get over it. I want to say, look at the prisons. Look at the land. Look at the bank accounts. Look at the health statistics. Look at whose neighborhoods get flooded, sprayed, bulldozed, bombed. Okay? And then I want you to ask yourself, if everything is over, why do the numbers look like this? Ask them why they celebrate Independence Day. Come on now. Why? Why do you celebrate that? You wasn't free. They thought that you was going to be enslaved forever when they made that. Why are you celebrating these things? Why? But it goes so deep. We're doing so many actions every day, every month that feed into the system that we can't even see. It's like you don't even have time to read and learn who you are and read the user manual, because you was born into just being blind, right? And if you are truly okay with not caring about these innocent people being harassed, locked up, from children to women to men that all have melanin, then you sleep. George Floyd, that was a melanated man. Sandra Bland, that was a melanated woman. Right? Trayvon Martin, he was a child. It go on and on and on and on and on. And it's sad. So I will continue to be an advocate. I'm a baby historian, a baby. I'm a dentist by day, a historian by night. But something that they didn't anticipate on my ancestors planting that seed, somebody like me coming through, they was like, oh, we ain't prepared for you. We didn't prepare for that greatness. We didn't prepare for you to get through all of our tricks and our traps and become a doctor. We didn't prepare for you to figure out who you really are. We didn't prepare for you, Dr. Sean. We didn't know you was in the DNA. I'm just a reflection of my ancestors. That's all. They just speaking through me right now. That's all. They will never rest until, like I said, we get our sovereignty back. So we wondering, what's the solution? Is it this policy? No, I need my sovereignty back. Right? And if you are comfortable with what is going on with the prisons and the laws and how it is right now, then we know why. Because the system was built for you. But if it's something you're not comfortable with, if you feel it in your spirit, thanks for the love, guys. Thanks for the love. If you feel it in your spirit, then you are not crazy for caring about history. You are actually awake. Cheers to you for being awake. Correct, right? History is not a wound you are reopening. It is a map. And you finally reading. I'm finally reading this map that I've been trained not to look at. I've been trained to just go to work, make the money, get the American dream, never, step outside of the box. Jizzle sent that heart of the finger heart. Thank you. Right? So here's a challenge for you, tribe, as we get to the end of our broadcast for today. I want us to study our story. Me, I'm studying my story. Studying about my ancestors. My family tree looks like a big tree right now. It has people that I don't know, never met, but it takes me back. And it all connects to who I am. And the further you go back with who you are, you will realize that a colonizer could never erase you. You got too many roots here on Turtle Island. They could never erase you and trick you out of your spot. But the task is on you to study your story. Learn about your melanated Niiji ancestors. Learn about this land. The Mississippian mound builders. The Choctaw, the Niiji, the Creek, the Muskogee. Learn about your land. Learn about your stolen surnames, the treaties. Try to learn about it. Just take a little bit each day. Follow the money. Ask who profits from our pain, our labor. What about your neighborhood conditions right now? Think about it. Challenge yourself. Educate your circle. So if you in my circle right now, you're going to consistently be challenged mentally, physically, spiritually, because I don't mind going deep and taking it there. I don't mind being the person who says, wait. Something ain't right about that. So educate your circle. Don't argue with everyone. Just get them receipts. And the ones who ready, they're going to open their hearts. The ones who are not ready, they're just not ready. They're not ready to go to that level of thinking where they can block out colonization. Maybe they in too deep. When you in too deep, sometimes it can be hard to unlock that code. Right? Then the last thing I want us to do, tribe, is to build power. And what did we say power was? Knowledge. Power is wealth. So build power economically, mentally, spiritually, with the land, the businesses, your skills, and your network. Build that power. Thank you for liking the live, LB. Right? So the history is in our soil. Every day you walk on history. This soil holds the secrets of this land. And we are the new root system. So it begins with us. Every time one of us gets out and teaches someone, tries to enlighten someone, even if you just get up and you feel empowered just from the things that you learn about yourself and your tribe, that is amazing. All right? So we're getting off of here in a second. If you got any questions in the chat, drop the questions in the chat. I thank y'all for rocking with me today on the Hoods and Hooded podcast. We always going up. We always elevating. I've been on this wavelength of just like really into history lately. Just super deep into it. So I'm not here to make colonizers comfortable. I'm not here for that. We're not here to make colonizers feel more comfortable than they already have been for hundreds of years on our stolen shit, to the point where now they can get into the comments and be like, oh, get over it. Meanwhile, their cousin out here in a patrol car about to lock your cousin up in prison for something so stupid or something that they lied about. You talking about get over it. What do you mean? I don't understand what that mean no more. I won't get over it until when I get my sovereignty, bitch. Then we'll get over it. Until that point, it's on. It's popping, and we ain't stopping. It made me too mad when I finally said I'm smarter than their president. You made them mad when you say you're smarter than their president. Yeah, we all are way smarter than their presidents with an S. Because these bird brains, the way they was thinking back then, there's no way that was intelligence. They just had on the suit. That's why they would have the YTs at their church. They would be upstairs thanking God while they had the enslaved people under the church. We ain't gonna go there though. We ain't gonna go there. I think we done did enough today. Power is definitely in the numbers. Facts. So like I said, I'm not here to make my colonizers comfortable. You not here to make your colonizers comfortable. On no day should you ever get up and feel like, you know what, today I want to make my colonizer happy and comfortable today. No, I want you very uncomfortable. Right? Very. I'm here to make my ancestors proud, not your ancestors comfortable. I'm here to make and help us as descendants get freedom, mental freedom, spiritual freedom, and physical freedom. So if this hit your spirit, make sure you are liking what you guys have. We got to our goal of 1K hearts. We at 8.2K. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Make sure you tag. Make sure you follow. We are here every single day on the Hood to Hooded podcast. I'm on this 365-day challenge. I'm up to day number 70 now, so we got a long time to grow together. I appreciate y'all in the comments. Thank you, Jizzle, for being the #1 gifter. Badge, tapping those hearts. Independence, period. We not getting over it. We getting free from it. All right? I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a lovely, lovely Monday. I'm out.